afternoon, everybody. I'm so happy to be here with you, and I appreciate all the efforts that IUGS and UNESCO done for to create this great event and being all together here to talk about some geological attraction all around the world. I'm going to talk briefly about one of the most interesting attraction in Lut Desert in Iran is the World Heritage Site, as you know. And we use the local term for this as a Kalut, but it's going to be widely used because Kalut is very famous in this region, not only in Iran, but also in Pakistan and other regions. They have such a feature. This presentation and the application was prepared by my friend, Dr. Mehran Maqsoodi from University of Tehran, and also he's the manager of Lut World Heritage Site base. But unfortunately, he couldn't attend the meeting and asked me to present before him. Lut Desert is situated in eastern part of the country, near the Afghanistan and Pakistan boundary. Its Yardang is something around 7,000 square kilometers. You see the core zone of the World Heritage Site with the red line, and the blue one is the buffer zone. And you see the almost half of the core zone consists of the Yardangs. About the geological context, Lut the plate is between two big and important faults. This is the Naibandan Khash in the eastern part, and also the Naiband fault in the west. The Lut formation created in late Cenozoic, and of course it passed different climate and different evolution period to form like what we can see now. Another view of the geomorphologic map of the area, you see the Yardang, Kalut. The direction of the hills or the Kalut is southeast to northwest, and it follows the main wind system in the area. The formation of the Lut Desert is mostly by the silt, clay, and silty clay, and also some intercalation of the salt and gypsum. We call this formation as a Lut formation, and it can be found only in this area. And it was a result of the hydro-aeolian process in this formation. This is another view of this amazing geomorphology feature. First, it was just a big lake in the area, and the lake dried up due to climate change. And the first and initial rills and gullies were created by surface runoff caused by seasonal rains. We have very rare rains in this area, but when it's raining, it's very hard raining. So it's create very deep and very big rills and gullies. And after that, some aeolian process, sometimes takes 20 days continuously in this area with the same direction. It formed this kind of features in this area This wind name is Sistan wind, very, very famous in the area. In 4 months, people cannot work anything there because it's very, very hard time they have here. And, but some geologists believe there is another reason to create this kind of yardangs, and it's some lineation and some faulting system just in this direction helps to create this kind of feature. But the Shur River, a very big river, permanent river, running from the north to the south, has a very big effect to create these yardangs. This river comes from 300 far lands to this area, and maybe primary, it was created by this river. I mean, the gullies and the rills created here was created by the Shur River. And as you know, there are 3 types of yardangs, mega yardangs, meso, and micro yardang. And the Lut desert yardangs are categorized in the mega yardang, the biggest in the world. About the scientific tradition, many studies have done in this area since the 19th century. But the main one was started in 1970 for 8 years, and 21 scientific report was published in Persian and French. It was done by the University of Tehran and Paris Academy of Science. It was a big group working in this desert. And after that also, there are many expeditions to area, but it's very hard to work there because I will show you sometimes the temperature reaches to 80 degrees centigrade in this area, and it's impossible to go out in this temperature. You know, they put the eggs in the surface and it immediately will be done. So the working season in this area is very short. Even in the winter time, you have a very, very hard and frozen night in the area, and it's really short time possible to go there. And it's interesting to know mega yardangs of Lut is reference for identifying yardangs in other planets. There are some papers that refers to the mega yardangs to compare with other planet yardangs. The main argument for the IUGS recognition, the highest yardangs in the world with the height of 225 meters can be found in Lut Desert. And the longest length in the world, 40 kilometer long. I have been in several places with Yardang, in northern China, in Donhuang Geopark, in Mongolia, and also there are some yardangs in Pakistan near here, but not so spread, not so high, and not so continuous. And this area has the 3 records of most continuous, the highest, and the widest. And also, as I mentioned, we have a very, very high and unbelievable temperature here. It was measured by the satellite image every year. You know, it's a survey always done in different places in the world. Of course, sometimes it happened in Africa, sometimes in Mongolia, sometimes even in USA, in Australia. But the most measured temperature was in Lut Desert, and it was the highest measured one. Of course, we have good access to the Yardangs. It's a Shahdad city connected to the Yardang with a good access road, and it's very good, potential to use for the geotourism and also for some research and studies in this area. In 2016, Lut Desert accepted as a World Heritage Site, natural one in UNESCO, and in emphasizing on its value of the Yardang with the criteria of number 7 and 8. So it's very important to emphasize on some geological or geomorphological feature for a World Heritage Site. And the thing I have to add is we are doing a very good geoconservation in this area, because you know, when a site is famous for this temperature or landscape, many people come to visit, and many people don't follow the instruction of the guards, and people are protecting the area. But according to the last IUCN assessment in 2020, the status of the conservation was good, and we are happy for that. Okay, it was just a brief information about Lut. I will be available here or later for more explanation and discussion about this area. Thank you very much for your attention.